All right, just gonna press the record button. I got it on this wimpy tripod right now that is just a stick. It's more of a selfie stick that has little legs on it, and hopefully it doesn't the wind doesn't blow and this thing tumbles over. But yeah, I just want to try something new this week. I want to record on my phone because why not? You can do things on your phone nowadays that are just as good, if not better, than some other cameras, right? Even my little camera last time on my last video, I did it on the camera on my screen, the screen camera, which is, it's fine. It's great. Not as good as this. So yeah, this is mo better, as they say. So quick intro. My name is Cameron King. I am I've been in this business for 20 years as a creative, more of a business owner slash creative director right now. Run a very small studio where we do a lot of work for political and advocacy organizations. And a bunch of other small things as well. That is probably our main niche the past, 10 years. No, I'd say probably hardcore the last 4 years. 3 to 4 years. But before that, we kind of just stumbled into it for the past 15 years. It's all over the place, but definitely been more precise with my targeting in the past, 4 years, last couple cycles, right? So that's what we do. Done a lot of other work too for brands like Volkswagen, the Olympics, Ford, Chrysler, a lot of car stuff back in the day. I don't do too much now these days. Some sports stuff here and there. But yeah, mainly just storytelling, brand collaborations, not in the influencer sense, but in the storytelling, creative sense. Storytelling. That was the word of the week this week on LinkedIn, but I won't get into that this time. Maybe I'll break into that on the next video. Maybe I'll just record something after this, keep this one short. But I want to talk about something this week that has kind of been on my mind. So first of all, you got the intro about me. Let me tell you about what this is. This is a short podcast. Actually, let me back up there. Let me give you a little taste of what this thing's going to be about. The topic of this week is why I am getting off of social media. I keep looking out the window. I should be looking at the camera. Let me do better about that. So this week I'm talking about why I am getting off social media, all social media. Like you really care, right? Because you're such a you love following my content, right? I'm not even on there that much right now to begin with, but I'm moving in the direction of totally getting off of it, other than just like posting it and not even checking it. And I'm even considering getting totally off of it, just deleting accounts or just never signing into them. Right now, I actually don't have any social media apps on my phone. I even deleted, it's during the holidays right now, I even deleted my Gmail app. Any mail, any sort of thing that sort of sucks me in and takes me away from my day-to-day sort of concentration and focus, and just leads to either focus interruptions or down a path of it's okay to be unfruitful. I'm okay with doing activities that are unfruitful. I do unfruitful activities all the time. I watch movies. I hang out with my kids. Obviously that's fruitful because I'm pouring into my children. But not everything has to be productive. I get that. Social media and feeds, on the other hand, while they can be sort of a way to waste time, how it makes you feel afterwards is not something I like participating in. And I feel like that's the overall general vibe I'm getting in the world right now too. And I feel like more people are going to be moving this direction. That's my overall vibe. But yeah, that's the sort of the teaser of what we're going to talk about on this one. So why this medium? Why this video? Why this podcast? Why not? This kind of goes with the theme of what I'm going to talk about today. I believe that we just need some more depth in our ways. And besides me going out and producing some film, which I could do, I don't want to do it because I make videos and films for my job. I don't want to do it here. I want to do something sort of low, a low lift for me. So that's me talking to the camera and getting it out there. So that's why I'm doing this. I'm going to post it on Substack, YouTube. So if you like what I'm talking about, or if it resonates with you at all, if you like the overall vibe of just sort of slow, no point in it whatsoever content other than to hear some of my thoughts on some things, this is the place for you to hang out. And you can listen to it double time. I don't really care. Whatever you want to do. So that's this. Quiet Legacy is sort of the name of it. Working title could change. Could be something like Pickled Octopus in the future, which I am trademarking as of right now. Yeah, so Quiet Legacy is all about building a legacy, whether in your work, with your family, with spiritual, whatever, quietly. Nobody has to really know about these things. I know I'm posting this. I'm trying to get the word out. I see the irony in all of this. It's a battle that I'm constantly battling, right? It's a fight that I'm constantly sort of toying with. Like, do I become somebody who posts things online about what I'm doing, trying to do quietly? So this is sort of my middle ground sort of outlet to do so. Yeah, there we have it. So today, getting off social media, I have some notes here, and I know that you feel it. I know that we feel it. I remember back in, let's say 2010, right? When Instagram, Facebook, all these things sort of just really started popping off. Mainly just Instagram and Facebook. It was before Instagram was even acquired by Facebook. There was a cool factor to it because you had some in real life stuff, right? So you still go hang out with your friends, you still meet up with people, go to dinner. I know people do it nowadays, but I don't feel like people do it as much as they used to, right? Because now you can connect with people online and you have these sort of pseudo relationships that make you feel like you have relationships, but you actually don't. But back in the day, 15 years ago, when we first got these technologies, 15, 20 years ago, there was a sense of like, oh, we're all doing this together. And like, we might post something on Instagram or Facebook, but then you go and talk about it with your friends because they saw your post, and then you go out and with drinks or food or whatever and talk about it with them. Y'all kind of just do things together. Yeah, it was a little bit of like, hey, look at us being cool, hanging out with each other going on. But it was all among like people that you know. And that's kind of like not existent anymore. So you might see some of your friends on your feed, but most of it now is just like advertising, interest that you follow. It's all interest based, right? Things that they think you might want to follow. And it has really nothing to do with friends and community anymore, or with close relationships, but it has to do with interest and feeding your addiction to certain topics. So a lot of it's political now, or just rage bait, or just negativity in the direction of keeping you hooked onto these things. So, that's sort of a glimpse of like how this all started and how we all became entrenched into social medias, because hey, we were doing this with the other humans we are living our life with. And eventually that's kind of gone on the wayside, and it's sort of just taken over our mind and just sort of fed into this addictive behavior. I think it's kind of funny now that we live in a time where a lot of people are getting off of other addictive substances like alcohol and drugs, which is great. It's a fantastic thing to do. However, we're replacing it with this other thing, which is like scrolling and looking at garbage and getting into conspiracy theories and whatever that is that keeps us flicking our fingers. It could be pornography for some people, and I don't know if it's actually any better, because what it's doing is like, yeah, we're staying sober, but our mind's not clear, and we become addicted to something else, and we've lost the community connection with actually being with actual people. So we get this false representation of persons that we're interacting with, which we're not. So that's sort of a big picture of what's happened in the past 15 years, at least in my head. So I keep looking out the window. I don't mean to do that, but I'm going to stare right here. Now, when it comes to the world that I'm in advertising and in content, things like that, I really hate the word content, but that's what it's become. I hate the word I don't really like the word content creator because everybody's a content creator. But I come from this world of advertising, branding, getting your message in front of people, trying to grab attention, brand awareness, fundraising, buying junk. I come from this world, like how can we get people to take action through the content that we make, right? And I'm gonna come out through that lens right now and say that I don't know if it's gonna happen in 2026, but I think maybe after 2026, or during this period of in the next year, I'm kind of looking forward, right? In the next 1 or 2 years, I have a feeling that it's not the best strategy to do all this short form content. It's not the best strategy to even be on these platforms anymore because it's just overrun with garbage now. We have AI slop out the wazoo. We can even call it, it's not even slop anymore. Some of this stuff is really good. Admittedly, I'm going to say that out loud. Like some of this stuff is convincing. Like once you see it the first time, you're like, whoa, captures your attention, hooks you in. Then after you watch it like 2 or 3 times, you're like, oh wait, this is AI. Or you read a comment like, no way this can be true. And then at the end of it, you're frustrated because you just saw something that wasted your time that's not even real. It just hooked you in, right? So there's going to be a lot more of that coming out. Every other post is someone trying to sell you something, whether it's like their course or their little product they made in their house, which I'm all for entrepreneurship. I get it. I'm there, but it's kind of infuriating that every post is a sales post or it's part of a funnel or whatever, right? So anyway, so my overall sort of topic here, my overall sort of point here is, this is Marty Neumeier. This is a cliche by now, but when they zig, you zag. So what I'm doing for myself personally is everybody else is getting online, right? All the individuals, all the personal brands, all the brand people, all the people who do what I do, they're on there. Okay, they can fight it out. They can go ahead and just fight that fight. That's not my battle. I'm out of there. That's my overall sort of strategy for that. I'm going for more in-person connections, word of mouth. Might play with some advertising down the road for a certain product, but for now, word of mouth has been my bread and butter. Connections, relationships are the name of the game. So I don't need to be online. So all these people who are doing all this stuff, pouring all their energy into content that is probably 95% fruitless, 98% fruitless, 99%. Everybody's been convinced that this is what you have to do, and I'm not convinced because it hasn't worked out for me. I've tried it a few times, and maybe I didn't try with all my heart. I didn't want to. It's not my thing. So when they zig, you zag. I'm getting off of there because that's unexpected. I love a quote that I heard a few months ago about, I want to say it's the CEO of Ferrari or one of these really high-end fast cars, Ferrari or Lamborghini or one of those. I want to say it's Lamborghini. Anyway, doesn't matter. The point remains the same. He said, an advertiser came up to him and said, hey, why don't you make a car commercial? And he said, and this is like just super gangster. He said, our clients don't watch TV. Boom! Like that's like a mic drop quote there. So our clients, our customers don't watch TV. So good. And it's true. Have you ever seen a Ferrari or a Lamborghini commercial? No. You might have seen a little social media post from somebody else who shot a Lamborghini, but from the actual company itself, they hardly do any advertising. The things just sell themselves, right? So yeah, I love that, and there's something to that sort of class of. Anyway, that's a whole branding strategy, right? Being in a certain class where you don't need to advertise it because you're so either expensive or exclusive or whatever, not a commodity that you don't have to advertise, right? So another point here I wanted to another point I wanted to sort of make here was, when was the last time you actually woke up and thought to yourself, oh boy, I cannot wait to get on Instagram and see what kind of crap I can be sold and see what new conspiracy theory is out there and see what the president had to say. I can't wait to wake up, get on Instagram, and then be in a bad mood. Nobody wakes up excited about that stuff. It's just an addiction. It's like, I gotta wake up and have my cup of coffee. I gotta wake up and do my morning scroll. I don't do that anymore, but I know a lot of people do. They gotta do it before they go to bed. They gotta do it on every bathroom break, whatever it is. Nobody gets excited about that. They just do it because it's just something you do. It doesn't bring joy to your life. So I don't get it. And I struggle with this at times too. There are times where, I'll have it on my phone or I have it on my computer and I just find myself scrolling. Like, why am I doing this? So I'm not sinless here. I still get caught in it, from time to time. Then I have to take a step back, right? All right, what else here? And so to go into that, and for me personally, it's like there is no real benefit for me being on here. There might be a couple of small little benefits, like, I can kind of keep up with the world news here and there. I think that's just an excuse I can tell myself, because I can do the same thing. I can open up my news app and just flick through it for 10 seconds, be like, all right, here's all the crazy stuff going on in the world. I can move on. And then if anything strikes me, I can read the article. But most of the time, I get the idea, right? And to be honest with you, like, do we need to know what's happening in the world all the time? That's kind of the point too of news feeds and journalism now, and just like the constant stream of news and this sort of thing is to keep you reading so they can get advertising dollars. And everybody calls like freedom of press, which I agree with, but it's still capitalistic. Like, their whole incentive is to keep you reading the newspaper so they can get more advertising dollars and stuff like that. So people go, oh, the liberal media, the conservative media. No, they're playing to their base so they can get more advertising dollars. Like, you can't even call them socialist media, because they're not. They're totally capitalist, and they want advertising dollars. They write things that they know they can get their viewers, or they share things, or they make reports on things, or they say things in a certain way to get you to watch, because that's how they make their money. That's how they pay their people on camera millions of dollars a year, right? So my personal reflection is it's just addictive. It's not good. It's not the way the world's heading. It's not in a very, very good direction, right? So we need to take a step back, and I need to be personally convicted about this and do this myself, which is why I'm leaning towards totally just demolishing it and not doing anything. I'm definitely not going to be on it 80% as much next year. Maybe once a week. I'm still putting the boundaries into place. I'm thinking about it over the holidays, but I'm really struggling into just like one day a week, 15 minutes, maybe post something just to kind of keep my feed going for those people who want to look into me. You know what I mean? So if I have a client who's looking into me to hire me, they can see that I have some stuff. Because sometimes, especially for people who don't have a lot of, who are not content creators, sometimes these places can be a place for a portfolio or whatever. I get that. Just to show that you're somewhat relevant. I get that to an extent. And so just the sort of return on investment for this, for scrolling has not been there for me. Have I gotten clients from online? Yes. This year in particular on LinkedIn, I've probably gained two-ish clients, and that is not because two or three. And they probably totally brought in maybe 10K this year from LinkedIn, and that wasn't because they, I made some awesome content. It was because I am in a particular industry, in a particular vertical, and people within my vertical put out a call for, hey, we need somebody to help us with XYZ. Hit us up if you can do that. I hit them up, and there you have it. So it becomes more of the relationship game at that point, or it's like 2 degrees of separation. Like I might know them from somebody else and saw that they post and actually met that other person in real life. And these people I've actually probably met somewhat in real life, maybe bumped shoulders with them at a conference or something like that, and finally had an opportunity to get in with them. So that's kind of how you can play that game if you wanted to. And that's what I mean by that, like 30 minutes a week, because certain opportunities like that do come up, right? But it's like I said, it wasn't that much. It wasn't like what the gurus say, like, oh, I made $141,000 this month by posting LinkedIn content. Okay, congratulations, you did that. You're one in, a million people on here. And they'll tell you stuff like, oh, only 10 people, only 1% of the 2 billion people on LinkedIn are posting. Okay, all right. I look at it this way. Basketball players, football players, sports, right? A lot of people want to, kids, high schoolers want to become a professional sports player. The likelihood of going from high school football player to NFL, I don't know the percentage, but I'm sure it's like 1%, something like that. So we all can play the game in high school. We all can be at a certain particular level, but at a certain point, there's a natural, I don't know if it's natural, there is a selective process to be part of that 1% of elite. Same thing happens online. There are content creators, somehow, by luck, circumstance, grind, being great at what they do, I'm not going to discount that, they become part of that 1%. The odds of you becoming that 1% are slim. So that's how I look at it too. I'm not part of this elite basketball team. Odds are most people are not going to be part of it either. I'm not saying you shouldn't go for it. But if your time can be spent more wisely and you have other options, which you probably do, go do those other options. So my return on investment hasn't been what it's done, and if anything, it's taken away from my life more than it's given into my life. It's taken away from time from my family, it's taken away time from building relationships, it's taken away time from other healthy things that I could be doing with my life. So return on investment, time-wise, money-wise, all these other things, it's just not there, right? And then also, I kind of discussed this a little bit, the future of social media. I feel like, and a lot of people are actually, even some of the gurus are saying this, that the future of social media is going to be changing, right? So we have the AI slop, we have the just onslaught of people just posting all the time. So there's slop and daily content, all this stuff. So people are going, and people are just tired. They're just exhausted. There's already just fatigue, social media fatigue in general. There is consumer fatigue, which is like always being sold to. I don't know, what do you call it? Consumer fatigue? It's just like you're always being sold to. So you're just tired of being advertised to, right? And then there's influencer fatigue, which is like influencers being influencers and just always trying to sell you stuff, or people are just tired. They're just tired, they're worn out, they're burned out, and there's just fatigue all around for the social media medium, for that short form medium, for the feed medium. I think people are still going to want to be entertained in certain ways. So, like I said, a lot of gurus are saying this. So people are going to be looking for depth. They're going to be looking for substance. And so, which is why I'm doing this, is a little more depth, a little more substance. We'll debate the substance part. And so I think that's going to be the way things are heading. Also, in the world of AI, like I said, it's getting better, but we're getting to a point where people are even questioning real things. Something's real. Oh, this is probably AI. Oh, this is probably. If you have to put a disclaimer, this is not AI, then you know we're living in a world where we're fighting this battle, right? And then you have all these, these AI bros and gals. There's some gals too out there that do it. I know it. Who are just like, oh, it's the next revolution, and blah blah blah. It can change your content, and if you're not on the train, then you're going to be left behind. I don't think that's a winning battle right now. I think they're losing. Those guys are loud, and gals, they're loud, and they make you feel like it because they have good ways with their words. They make you feel like you're being left behind. You're in FOMO, but the reality is on the ground, most people hate it. Most people don't like it. They don't want it. A lot of people do feel threatened because of their jobs, but also like you get online and you don't know what's real anymore. Like that kind of sucks. That's kind of like not the point. Anyway, we're just getting further away from reality, which is insane, right? So, and a lot of people, and the AI people are going to be like, oh, but you just got to get on board. Like, if we're having to argue about this, then it's a battle. Then like nobody's going to be on board with it. Like, it's just going to be a few loudmouth tech bros against the rest of the world, and they might win some of the loud, since they're louder. It might seem like they're winning, but they're actually not. Like, I don't know if they're actually going to be making any money. I don't know. It's all up in the air, but I have a feeling like it's just the consumers don't want it. Most people do not want it, and so, but that's not going to stop the robots taking over these feeds and the AI slop taking over the feeds and bad players, people who are good at prompting, taking over these feeds and just putting a bunch of mush out there. And so I think people are going to probably be getting off of these feeds a lot more, whether they can control themselves or not. Even if they can't control themselves from being on it, they're not going to be as active on it. They're just going to be mindless drones scrolling, but they're not going to hit the buy now button. They're not going to hit the subscribe now button. They're not going to hit these buttons that we want them to hit, the actions we want them to take, because they're just so numb to all the garbage. So that's another reason. That's what I feel is going to happen in my world, in the political world. A lot of the political people are just now getting into influencer marketing, which I was like, I think you already kind of missed the boat on that, because people are becoming influencer fatigue, and as soon as you start, and they're becoming politically fatigued. So if you start getting small influencers to start touting your candidate or your cause, people are probably going to be tuning out and just pissed off, to be honest with you. You might rile up a base, which sounds great, but it makes you feel good, but it's actually not really moving the needle as much as you need it to. So there's my rant. That's all I got. Let me walk over here and turn this off, because I'm just going to upload it like it is. I don't think I'll trim anything. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But if you, let me just say this. If you liked what you saw, please like and subscribe. Share with somebody else who might want to hear my long ramblings. Thank you. Have a good day. If I don't see anyone before Christmas, I'm thinking about doing one more video, maybe 2 more videos. I'll just record them before the holidays. One is on like sort of just holiday reflections. I might do that one. That sounds nice. And like what we should be thinking about moving forward. So if you want, what you should be thinking about, what you could be doing with your free time over the next 2 weeks to sort of put yourself in alignment. I hate that word. People just ruin words so much. Put yourself in sort of alignment, for lack of a better term, for next year. All right, bye.